Hey, welcome everybody. It's day 11 of PhotoPea. In this lesson, we're going to be taking a picture of a building and you're going to be planting some graffiti on it, okay, virtually. So what you're going to need, you're going to need some sort of a graphic that you're going to blast on the building. You're obviously going to need to go out and take a picture of the backside of your garage or, some place on the campus that you feel a mural would look good. Also, the first step you do is you go to Google Image. You're going to type in maybe mural, maybe you're going to type in graffiti, whatever it's going to take to find something that's appealing, interesting. And so right now what I did is I went out front and took a picture of the front of the school. I'm going to put a nice graphic right here on the corner that wraps around the corner. So the image I'm going to be using, I don't know, I just found it on Pinterest. This is giant grizzly bear. So what I'll do in this situation is I'm just going to grab the marquee tool and I'm going to control copy. I'm going to go back to my building. I'm going to hit Control V, cut that out. I need to remove all of this white area. That's going to be pretty simple with the wand tool. Hit wand 3 times in PhotoPea. And then I'm going to hit Control X. I left a little down there, Control X. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to situate it here on the building. Maybe, let's see, I'm going to reduce the opacity a little bit so you can see through the building somewhat. And then I'm going to have to make this part of the bear a little bit darker, the paw section. So maybe we'll stick the bear over here like that. Now, what you'll want to do is skewing, okay? And so skewing has to do with altering the image so that it fits within the space a little better. So I'm going to bring his front paw there right to the ground. And then what I'll do is I'm going to go Edit Free Transform. And if I do a right click on top of this bounding box like this, you'll see that it says distort, it says, warp and things like this. I'm going to use distort and I'm going to move this. You see that corner there? I'm going to move that up and I'm going to move this one down a little bit. Okay, and then what I'll do is I'll bring this in a little bit that way. And see, and what I'm doing is I'm aligning the top of this bounding box with the angle of the roof. Like that. And the next thing I need to do is cut this paw out and flip it on the edge a little bit. Okay, so after you've got it distorted like this, okay, and notice that the bottom, angle follows the bottom angle of the building in the picture. Okay, so imagine there's a line that goes like this. This has to line up with that to make it look accurate in perspective. Let's see, bring that down. Okay, next I hit enter, and then I'm going to zoom in a little bit on the paw there. Okay, I'm going to use my polygonal lasso tool, and I'm going to then, right on the corner, I'm going to go around it, double click, and then I'm also going to hit Edit Free Transform. Okay, and for this angle, I'm going to have to let's see, we'll pull this down, do distort. Just like that, okay. And the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have to darken this in a little bit because you can see the difference between the value. It's pretty subtle, but obviously this front of the building is gonna be lighter. There's a bit of a shadow here. And so I will take that into account as I darken this up. Because it's already selected, I'm not going to have to do any selecting. I'm just going to hit Control M. We haven't talked about Control M, but Control M is curves. And let me show you what that looks like real quick. When you select Control M, let me move this up. This window appears. Don't be scared off by this. This is called a histogram. It's just a graph. This diagonal line is what you're interested in. And so what you do is you can grab different nodes on the diagonal line. And if I swing it up like this, it's going to make it super dark, light, and opposite direction. Okay, so you have some ability to adjust the values in the picture. And I'm going to make this just a little bit darker so that it works with the shadow of the building. And then I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to hit Control D for deselect. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. Okay. And the other thing too, while you're here, is you might want to blur it just a little bit. It almost seems a little bit too crisp. Remember that as things recede or go away from us, they're going to become less clear, less sharp. And so what you can do is go up under Filter, go down under blur, go down to Gaussian blur, whichever. And then what you'll do, and obviously that's way too much, right? I just want it to be really subtle so it falls to the background. Things with sharper contrast are in the foreground, okay? They're nearest to us, okay? So to make things in Photoshop look convincing, you have to understand a little bit about perspective. I hit OK. The other thing too, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually free transform, and I'm going to bring this and make this a little bit shorter. So we go, we transform, and I'm just going to then pull this guy down a little bit. I don't know, it just seemed a little bit off proportion. Okay, so although the Photoshop can do a lot, you still have to kind of use a little bit of logic and sound reasoning as far as like trying to make things fit into place. And so that is the project day 11, and I'll catch you in the next video.